Well, hello everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started again with some Italian wedding soup. So, what is Italian wedding soup? Is it a soup that they have at Italian weddings? No. What it is the combustible flavors of the marriage between flavors with all the ingredients incorporated in this soup. And boy, when I tell you it is flavorful and delicious, you guys are going to really enjoy this. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I also thank you so very much for all of your support. And let's go ahead and get started with this recipe. So we're going to add some olive oil to the bottom of the pan. And that's probably about a good tablespoon and a half of olive oil so that I can saute the onions and garlic. You want to add 1/4 cup of onions. And you're going to allow that to go ahead and simmer and get translucent. You want to just brown them a little bit. And what this is for our meatballs. Tastes very flavorful when you brown your onions and your garlic prior to making your mixture for your meatballs in this Italian wedding soup. You'll want to brown your onions for at least 2 minutes before adding your garlic. And now let's add 2 cloves that I've chopped of onion to our sauteing onions here. Okay, so here you can see a better picture of what the onion and garlic looks like browning, and this is what you want to have before you add it into your meatballs. And let's do that. All right, so for our meatballs, we have our caramelized onion and garlic, and it looks absolutely amazing. We have about a tablespoon and a half of cashew milk. We have 1 egg that's been checked for blood and it's clean. And I have about 2 tablespoons of parsley, fresh parsley, with 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. So that's what we have in here. And we're going to go ahead and start adding this to the mix here. By the way, this is 1 pound of ground beef. Some people use veal, but we're using ground beef. First thing we're adding is our caramelized onions and garlic. We're going to add the breaded mix. Add about our tablespoon and a half of cashew milk. You'll want to beat your egg and add it. Go ahead and set that aside and go ahead and start mixing here. Those caramelized onions and garlic is going to give this such an amazing flavor here. We're going to add a little bit of salt and black pepper. Here goes the salt. And that's about a 1/2 teaspoon. And about 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. It's up to you. You use the amount that you desire. We're going to go ahead and start making our meatballs. And what I'm doing is using a teaspoon or a tablespoon cup here. And I'm placing it in my hand. And what I'm just going to do is just roll it around into a ball. And actually, it should probably be half of this size. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start making our meatballs, and this is what it's going to be looking like exactly. I'm going to be using a teaspoon just to measure out the sizes of the balls. And we'll go ahead and plate this. Get a certain amount, and what you're going to do is just roll it in the balls of your hand, the palm of your hand, just like that, and just place it right next to each other. And you want to go until your mixture is completely complete and you're finished with your meatballs. And here are our meatballs. Now that I've completed making them, this is what they look like. And opposed to a lot of other recipes who typically just throw the meatballs into the broth and so forth, I am actually going to cook them. I'm going to brown them and caramelize my meatballs because they give off such a beautiful, flavorful taste once you add them to the soup. Now this is the same pot I use for my caramelized onion and garlic, and I'm just adding more olive oil to the bottom of the pan so that I can caramelize these meatballs. I'm going to go ahead and start adding these. You just go ahead and fill the bottom of the pot. And now our meatballs are caramelizing. You want to make sure you get some browning on the sides so they're frying. You're going to give them at least, I'll say, 2 minutes, and you're going to flip them. And I'll give you an example of what it looks like, probably trying to flip it here. Look at that beautiful brown color. This is what you want to see, guys. Now this is the beautiful browning color you want to see with your meatballs. Man, that looks great. And man, wow, the fog. Oh, the smell is divine. Oh, wow. Can't wait to dig in. We'll see. And these are the meatballs. They're ready. I'm going to go ahead and take them out. And I'm taking them out also with the oil that they're frying in because it's produced a lot of the flavor of the meat. And this, my friends, will go into this soup. I'm going to go ahead and pour the oil from the meatballs into the pan so that I can caramelize some onion and some of the vegetables that are going to go into this soup. All right. Add half cup of onion. One-fourth cup of carrots. Fourth cup of celery. Fourth cup of fennel. You're going to want to allow this to saute for at least a good, I'll say 3 to 4 minutes so the onions are translucent, and also when the celery cooks down quite a bit. Add 2 cloves of garlic minced, 1 stick of rosemary minced, and some chives minced, about 2 tablespoons of chives. And you'll let this saute for about 1 minute. And I'm going to just go ahead and add my fried meatballs to this. Adding meatballs and all of the delicious sauteed oils that were made with it. We want this soup just to be flavorful. Look how beautifully browned my meatballs are. And what we're going to do is let them saute a little bit in the vegetables here. You want to add now a little bit of pepper and salt. And this is going to be about probably half of a teaspoon that I'm adding. For my soup, I'm going to be using this classic wholesome chicken broth, and it's organic. So here we go. Add it. And we're going to use all of this. If only you could smell my kitchen right now. What I'm gonna do now is add a cup and a half of water to the soup. Now by adding the broth and the water, it's not hot enough, so we're gonna let it bring it to a boil. I'm gonna go ahead and cover the pot so that it can go ahead and get hot much faster. Now this is boiling quite well here. Let's take a look at what we have. This smells so heavenly. Wow. My kitchen, probably the whole house. This is nothing but the best. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add the noodles, which typically one would add after or in a separate pot, and they boil the pasta before adding it. But I'm gonna go ahead and add it to my boiling because I like the starchy effect that's left behind when you make pasta. Here's 1 cup. Allow the pasta and the soup to cook for about another 10 minutes here. I turn my fire or the stove to medium, and I'm gonna go ahead and cover this while it's cooking for the next 10 minutes. Now our soup is just about done, but of course it has to have my kale, which is 2 cups of kale that I cleaned, checked for bugs, and just placed in the bowl here. You want to put this in right at the end, and I'm also using 1.5 cups of spinach to add. And let's mix this around in our soup. Wow. Doesn't this look amazing? You're gonna give this a good 5 minutes, I'll say, and it should be ready. You don't want to overcook the kale and the spinach before serving it. At least I don't. I like having it before it gets overly soft. I'm gonna go ahead and place this in a bowl and show you the results, and we'll see you soon. Okay, while it is still in the pot, I actually want to give you guys a closer up view of what this soup looks like. Just, oh, wow, right? Come through, my people, come through. Watch me as I just go ahead and bowl this. Wow. Looks so delicious. Let's add another ball. Amazing. Wow.